What's going on, MBNs? Hope everybody's having an awesome day. I know I am. It's gorgeous out here today. And been working around the elderberry today, and they've changed a ton since you guys seen them, so I thought today, why not? We'll do an elderberry update. We'll show you guys our mother plant that we cut completely off to the ground. We'll also show you our cutting that we planted. Yeah, we'll just give you an overall update and show you guys how it's going. So hold on, let's get started. First off, I want to apologize if you hear the mowers and bush hogs in the background. We are currently mowing the pastures. Guys, so here we are at the entrance to the Alpha Garden, and here's our mother elderberry. This is the one we took our cuttings from, and then we cut it all the way down to the ground. I'll go ahead and throw a picture up on the screen so you can see some comparison. So let's get in here and take a little bit of a closer look at this elderberry, and we'll see what she looks like. Now, as you can see, she is starting to get some blooms on her all over the place. Not as good as the rest of them, but that's because she's been cut back. If we get you in here in this jungle, I can show you some of the older cuttings. Like right here is where we cut it back, and those are all over the place. But as you can see, all this new growth comes in. It grows around the base of the bush, and it also spreads in the roots. Here's the side view. As you can see, there's tons of blooms. These branches got big and slid over and made some of our onions not so happy. Actually, they're not affected. They're just kind of laid down more of an angle, so we had to take these branches and move them over and stake them up. You guys have heard me cry about in the past couple of weeks. All we've had is rain, rain, rain. Everything was affected by it, but so far the elderberry seem to be doing pretty good. We'll go ahead and show you guys our sister elderberry to the mom cutting, and then I'll take you down here and we'll look at the elderberry that we just planted this year from those mothers. So here we are at the herb garden, and here are the three moms we chose not to cut this year. They were relatively small, and we wanted them to get more established before we tried to get cuttings off of them. Because every cutting that you take off of those moms will be an exact replica of that bush. We wanted them to get much more established. So let's take a closer look at these guys. So now this lady here has some clusters bigger than my head. And as you can see, if we get closer, we still have some flowers there, but also you can tell that we have some berries starting. Now keep in mind, when you do plant elderberries, your cuttings will carry the age of the mother. So if your mother plant's 3 years old, so will be your cutting. However, when you very first plant that cutting in the ground, independently on its own the first year, you will not get any berries, and you'll need to make sure that you harvest all your flowers early to encourage growth and vegetation. I'm telling you, I am really excited to see these things hold up some berries. All right, Beast, come on, let's go down to the other elderberry plot. Usually his lazy butt's on the porch or laying in the air conditioner. Sit this one out while I do the rest of the walk more. So here we are down at the Omega Garden. This is the one that completely got washed out with rain. So we'll go ahead and see what our elderberry cuttings look behind us. And we are having to shoot them a little bit with some nutrients to get them back up to par. They're just really yellow from all the rain. Actually, we lost a few things in the Alpha Garden due to way too much rain. Let's go ahead and take a look. I gotta say, our Lemon Boy tomatoes sure is looking happy since we put them up on that trellis. We're making some pretty good sized tomatoes down there. Yeah, boy. Okay, so over here by the tomatoes and our collards here, our champion collards, I love those things, is our elderberry cuttings. Now these cuttings were the ones that we put in this spring, and they are around 2 to 3 feet tall. Some bushes are smaller, because if you guys remember watching our update video when we got better from the big C19, we showed you guys that these things was hit with a really bad frost in just one night, but it was enough, and some of them completely went brown, like that one over there went completely brown and shriveled up all the way to the ground, and we figured those would be the ones we'd have to replant next year, that they wouldn't come back. But they are making a comeback for sure, including this one right here at my feet, which I got to get those flowers off. But for the most part, these guys are doing much better. since we have hit them with some Nature Safe 855 and put it in those wood chips on that 6th day of rain after a 2-day break. I think that finally worked into the soil pretty good, and these things are starting to get some nice dark green color back in those tips also. So they are making a huge comeback, and we're happy. I'll go ahead and try to throw up, in case you guys didn't catch the video of us doing the cuttings, I'll throw up one of the pictures or a video right here and show you guys what these things look like when we put them in the ground. Now we planted 2 rows here in the Alpha Garden. These 2 rows here and here, and they will be here permanent. We're just going to have to make sure we get them established and keep them pruned, well maintained, because they can be invasive. So here's our 2 rows and what they look like now. I'm still pretty happy with the progress they've made since they have had such a hard start. Like 7 days after we got them out here, I was really worried about the roots getting established because of the frost. And I wasn't sure, because I knew if these plants, the roots had already got established well in the soil, they would come back no matter how hard the freeze was. Well, so far, we did lose 2, and the rest of them that we thought was gone did come back. We may not get berries off of them this year, but we definitely will next spring, and that's not a problem for us. We don't mind waiting. When the elders are this size and you put a cutting in the ground, the cutting is the same age as the mother, so once they get established, you're going to see a lot of them start producing flowers, and that's not really conducive for their growth. So what we do, and this is just here at our homestead, we'll take those flowers off when they're this size and get that bush to concentrate a whole lot more on vegetation and root growth below the soil. So when it is the correct time for these guys to break out in flowers and berries, they'll be ready to hold on to them, because they can get pretty heavy, and these guys just ain't ready for all that yet. We do maintain our elderberry on drip tape. Even though it is underground, that's still temporary. These elderberry roots will eat right through that stuff, break it apart over time, and eventually we'll have to let Mother Nature take care of them. Of course, we'll help some watering by hand, but it's only a few years they stay in here, and their roots get really strong, and they'll just tear them drip line right out of the ground. Thank you guys for watching, and all the previous comments on our other elderberry video, I'll go ahead and toss a link up to that at the end of this video. We've had a lot of great comments, a lot of great feedback on how people have learned from our elderberry video, so we really do appreciate it, and we'll try our best to keep them coming. We'll show you guys what happens when they get established. We'll also make a video when we first start getting berries. We'll show you guys how we do get what little bit of cyanide is in there out, and how we use them for processing as far as making syrups, medicine, and things of that nature goes. Make sure you do have that bell clicked if you don't want to miss those videos. Well, I've never said that before in a video. So that's it for today, and as always, keep on keeping on.